Started. Is it started? Yes. We are not it started from me. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. So I think you can be अपना phone को mute पे रखना है because you are hearing live. Sound बंद कर दो. Yeah, you can hear. Otherwise, it interference आएगी. When you mute your phones. Okay, once again, good morning everyone, and today we will be talking about something which is very important in today's world, that is English. And children, they complete their entire education and then they go and attend some classes, some coaching centers where they are taught to communicate, where they are taught to speak in English. So whole life they are translating whatever knowledge they have gathered into English and then communicating. So that I say that stops their spontaneity. So first they will think and they will translate and then they are going to say. But then in an English medium school, if we teach our children to think in English only, so we are going to make a bigger impact because we all know NEP talks about mother tongue, NEP talks about the regional languages, but then till the time our children are going to reach the job market, English is going to stay because the changes will happen over 10 to 15 years. So why should our children be, I'll say, not a beneficiary of coming to an English medium school? So in this workshop, we will be talking about. It's not a workshop, but I'll say it's a way of communicating and suggesting that what we are going to do as a school to bring this shift from English language towards English language, and this will only happen if we transform the way we think and we teach and we speak. So this, for this we have planned. There are the objective is that we have will have a culture of English communication, as I said prior, that all the children who are not taught their mother tongue, they catch the language from the environment. Nobody tells them that yes, this is a mataka, because children see that all that everybody is talking in matka, they pick that. So in the school, if they will hear that the picture, they will say picture. They will not even call pot. And they will have a better word to explain them. And then whenever we use good vocabulary, everybody has their ears. So that whatever we all have seen in our daily life, that whenever anybody talks in a fluent or anybody, I'll say floral kind of English, people call them Shashidharu because he has made a mark for that. As Navjot Singh Sidhu has made for the quotes, it used to come naturally to him. So whenever anybody you talk to them, whenever you find from anybody who is master of such things with the words, they all say they were doing lots and lots of reading without even thinking that they will be using these things. So reading is the mother of all the skills which we do. So communication is the way it starts from reading. But then the confidence, the body language, the sign language, and our body posture talks a lot before we utter a single word. So we want to establish English communication amongst teachers, students, to ensure that English becomes the natural and consistent medium of interaction across all academic and co-curricular activities. So many a times when children are screaming or shouting while coming on the staircase, I know they are excited, but that excitement should be expressed in English. So they do not know those words. So we have to give them those words. So when you are happy, say this. When you are trying to make a express yourself, your excitement, your positivity, these are the words you can do that. So this is something. Whenever you hear a child speaking in Hindi, we have to quickly give a word to them in English, so that we take that word from them and give them a English word, because that word should come naturally to them. And even in the co-curricular activities, this is very important. Many a times the teachers, they send their children. The one who is in charge, they are only going to look after that, which is not the right thing. As class teachers, we have to attend that program, because we have to see what our children are learning, so that when the PTM comes, we can tell that he takes interest in the class but not in the co-curricular activities. And then sometimes the response from the child, especially during debates or quizzes, when we have a public opinion coming, so we can find a new talent in that crowd in the class. So it has to be followed not only in the classroom setting, but in the corridors and in the co-curricular activity settings, be it music, be it dance, be it art, be it theatre, unless we are doing something in Hindi. So that has to be, instructions has to be in English, but rest of things, if it is an Hindi activity, can be in Hindi. And if it's a pure Hindi recitation something, you can use pure Hindi also. That is fair. I think I made my point clear to all of you that we are going to look for English communication from teachers to teachers, teachers to principals, principal to teachers, students to teachers, and students to students, and students to teacher. Not only in classroom setting, but also in the entire school, wherever their children are going to learn or to enjoy or to relax. So the scope applies to all teachers, students, staff engaged in daily communication within the school premises on all formal and informal interactions, including classroom teaching, assemblies, meetings, and co-curricular activities, as I shared in the last. So why we should have this program? As I shared, we all can speak in English. Even our children from grade nursery 1 to many of them can express themselves in English. Some of them and all of them understand. This I know. Some of them may not be speaking, but they all understand. So, but the thing is, something is inhibiting them to speak in English. Maybe the confidence, maybe the peer pressure, maybe the, I'll say, the fear that they will be judged or commented upon or made fun about. Not only about the way they speak, but also that they are trying to speak in English. And especially this happens in the higher classes. Because they all can, but the child will be labeled as Angrez in the class. So nobody wants to be labeled in any way. So that is why it is important for each one of us that we give them a platform, when the teacher will always speak in English. The child will understand that yes, it is a normal thing, because you are the idols, you are the gurus for them. So I will say, whatever you showcase to them, whatever way you exchange with them, they accept it at that. So the policy addresses this gap by fostering an environment that values English communication as a skill. It starts with a skill, becomes a habit, and marks the confidence. So then it comes naturally to them. So that is what happens when the city. I always give an example of a child. Hriday Arora, he was here from KG till grade 10, and then the parents wanted to give him exposure of in Delhi. So he got admitted in Aoda school, but he joined Springdale's Dholakua, and there he is shining. Why? Because of all the opportunities, all the exposure, all the things which we did here in the school. And he said, and what that makes me believe that if we give this confidence to each and every child, they will shine wherever they go. So they can even compete with the city children and city of Delhi, where the parent body best of best, the exposure best of best, the friend circle best of best. So that we cannot give in their homes, but then in school we can give them competition to that, so that no child is feels inferior that he or she is from Bahadurgarh, that they cannot compete with the others. Some of you must have seen that movie, that Super 30. So the children were so good in their subject, but when they went to the class, they got inferiority complex. So that should not come. That will only come when the child can accept that I may not be very well dressed as they are, but at par when it comes to the year, I am at par with them, and in some ways maybe better. So that gives them, even with the see, we are all have coming from the nation of Gandhi. What kind of dress he used to wear, a dhoti, and then sitting with the gentlemen with all the suit and boot, but still he was confident, because he was confident about his values, about his beliefs, about his communication, both in Hindi, English, or Gujarati, whatever. So it all comes from the way we think that our thoughts are right thoughts, and that comes from the faith they gain from each one of you in the school and with the peer members of the classroom. So this is very important, that if we will teach our students, they have the ability to speak, they will use it consistently. So that is the reason why we want this program. This is going to start from November, right from tomorrow, December, January, and February. I will go tell you what will happen in each month. As we will be having small committees who will be looking after the each part of that. So it will be in three stages. So the first stage is going to be culture building. So what do you mean by culture building?
Developing the culture of English communication in school.
So what is culture? My question is, what is culture?
Community and environment.
Values, ethos,
Huh?
It should be in any class. It should be throughout the world.
or a set of rules.
Followed by
Set of rules, culture, Indian culture हम बोलते हैं. What is Indian culture?
Making
the
it a
way we
habit.
live.
Sacrifice. Yes, that is a part. हम राम जी की क्यों याद करते हैं? Sacrifice. फिर मर्यादा, being in our own boundaries, and non-violence. All these are the culture of our country. Yes. So when I say this is the culture of going to be the culture of our school, English communication is going to be the culture of the school. Nobody makes mockery of Ramji's decision to go to the one. कोई हंसता है इस बात पे? नहीं. So हम भी कोई हंसेगा नहीं. If some teacher is trying to talk in English in the class, in the bus with the children, this has to come from within. And I want that to come from within, from each one of you. Many a times, I know tomorrow 80% will try. Then 10%, 20% who are not doing will make fun of the 80%. Then what will happen from 80, it will fall to 60%. Then there will be 40% who will be making fun. Then it will come to the reversal. Only 10% will be doing, 90% may not be making fun, but will also not be doing. So will the culture be seen? Visible? Will the culture be visible? No. No. It will only be, culture can only be built if each and every one of us believe that this is going to make a difference. And while I told you the scope, the rationale behind, it has not come just like that. It has come with a lot of thought. How can, abhi tak we are talking about in Bahadurgarh, school number 1, school number 1. Maybe in Haryana, school number 4 or 5. But if we have to make a mark in the map of India, so we have to really transform children towards the impossible goal. So I will be discussing the result with the senior wing later. But then I'm talking to all of you that if we have to make a market in the map of India, and we know there are schools very remotely located, and they are known. The ones who went with me to Bihar, Patna for the STEM, we have seen that typical rural schools making a mark. Why? Because their teachers thought that they can do it. So maybe they did that not to make a mark, but to transform the lives of those children. And we can also do that by English communication is the first thing which a child has an edge in an interview. Do you agree with me?
Yes.
The second phase is going to be the implementation, and the third one is going to be monitoring and assessment. So there are going to be awards also for the best class in communication, best teacher transformation. We will have a committee who will be deciding all the awards again from you people only, nothing from me. So then, don't make it that rather than working on the children, we start working on the committee, buttering the committee so that their names is recommended. That should not be. So there I am going to be intervening. That is there. So there, when the nominations will be there, then the board will be there, and then we will have an interaction, and then we will decide. And somebody else in the say, if suppose five candidates gets the nomination from the committee, and five does think, कि no, my class is to challenge भी हो सकता है. So we'll do it like a debate and all that. Something very, very democratic. After youth parliament, we also have learned the nuances of how the democracy functions. That's it. So the culture month, building month is the month of November, and we will be having a communication drive. So what do you mean by communication drive? What do you think communication drive? We are going to spread the word that we are going to have this kind of program in the school. So we are going to communicate with teachers, with parents, with children about the communication drive. And then the teacher orientation, the way we are having it, so teacher orientation is already happening. But then there will be smaller batches, they will be again oriented for their duties, roles and responsibilities. Then comes the capacity building, and many of us do not know certain words. As I was giving example, it was like it did not go, was not completed. So in that I asked, what do you see across the window? They all tell me there are trees, there are grass, there are swings. Even the English teachers who are coming, they only give me the same statement. जो class 1 के teachers भी देते. Okay, I say okay to describe the tree. They will think for a long time. They will say beautiful. So I say okay, give me a synonym of beautiful. They do not. They do not. Many of them they say pretty. ठीक है, I'm not saying कि वो गलत है. वो beautiful is such a common word. And अगर मैं आपसे भी पूछूंगी, I know that many of us will not be able to give me 3 or 4 synonyms for beautiful. So when we learn that, when I say it's a beautiful handwriting, I will use another word to describe the handwriting. If it is about the tidiness, if it's about the behavior, I will have different words to me which means beautiful. So that is how we have to build our own capacity. And I always say that we have been having 3 words journey program in our school since the beginning of the school. If the teachers had taken it seriously, their vocabulary would have been enriched. And sometimes when children they use certain words, I get to know okay, this has come from the 3 word journey. So we have to build our own capacity building. हम reels भी watch करते हैं, we can. Entertainment is important. But then अगर if there are 2 entertaining reels, we will watch one which talks about vocabulary building, how to crack IELTS, or there are so many exams about English, and there are videos on that. Or when we are preparing our lesson plans or going through, there will be always 1 or 2 words which meaning, exact meaning we don't know. We make a sense of the paragraph and then we describe. So we will find not dictionary की जरूरत ही नहीं है, Google, just say it aloud and you will have a meaning for that. So I will make an impact to build my capacity. And school will also provide a lot of building. And then we will make a school-wide expectation formulation. So this is what is going to happen in the capacity culture building month. So the first thing is communication drive. Second one is teacher orientation. Third one is capacity building and school-wide expectations formulation. I will be dealing with each one of the coming slides. So implementation will be in the month of December and January. January half ही मिलता है हमें, but still. So we will be building teacher communication circles, student clubs, classroom practices, creation of language-rich environment. So these four things we are going to focus when we talk about implementation of English communication in the school. So we are going to transform our school from a bilingual school to a purely English-speaking school. And in the month of February, we will be having monitoring and assessments. So for that, we will be rubrics for teachers. There will be student evaluation. There will be peer monitoring. There will be reflection cards, where each one of us will reflect that in this month, I have enriched myself with 10 new words to describe the work of the child. It will not only be beautiful, good, very good, excellent. It will be something better describing than the actual thing is there. And then there will be recognition through awards. So again, I think every program, whatever the way we have our examination, first we plan the syllabus, then we teach the syllabus, then we test the syllabus, and then we have exams, and then we award certificates or report cards. So in the after this whole thing will happen in the month of March and April, we will be having an awareness, habit formation, reinforcement of the entire plan, and evaluation and recognition again. So we will be observing whatever things, wherever which was lacking, we will be working in the month of March on that. And by April, we will have that whatever work in these 4 months, which is going to be followed in the next session. You got my point? This is going to be our pilot project. So I am not saying the result will be complete, but then at least we know how to transform the culture from bilingual to purely English communication. So then we will make those changes from the feedback, each one of us, our own experiences, how we do that. So now we come to the culture building. So the first thing is the अभी joy of giving week हुआ था. उसमें सबसे पहले क्या हुई? Awareness drive. So children made the cards. They went to the classes. The same way, do you want children to do it or you want teachers to do it? That we will discuss when the time starts. So first we will have our English communication drive. We will announce in the assembly. It will be sent in the broadcast group. It will be pasted in the classroom. That something like this. We can make it more. We can ask them to design their own posters. Whether it is from, printout, soft copy, or maybe by sketching, by drawing, by calligraphy. So we will say in this classroom, we only speak English. So something like this discussion, whatever I have done, you can do as a class teacher with your classmates. And if you need help, the non-class teachers can be with you. Or we can plan it when English teachers can also be with you on the days. We can plan it on the day where they are the class teacher if you need any help. But I think when there are so many teachers who can speak well for the teacher training also, they can definitely talk about this in the classroom. So the drive is going to be there, and we will be announcing that English is the school language. So it is not Haryanvi, it is not Hindi, it is English. English is the. So and then we should also have certain phrases. Let's speak English with pride. So when we say it, because we have been 300 years of slavery, we have developed, I don't know, I'll say the ones who are not, those who do not know the benefits of English, they have this कि अंग्रेजों के गुलाम क्यों हैं, बहुत ज़्यादा बात करते हैं. But still we know अंग्रेजों की थॉट के गुलाम थे, अंग्रेजी के गुलाम नहीं है. English is still a international language, and we have seen that children who are good in English have an edge above others who are not so good in English. And the school is an English medium school. We have put up in the CBSE affiliation has also come for that English speaking English medium school. But we want to take it even better. Then, so this is something which we will repeat in the class. Let's speak English with pride. So there is no, even if we are, when a child starts to speak even the mother tongue, he makes one line, two sentences, then maybe pronounces words differently. So that will same way will happen when we transform the children to English. Then teachers will model English in all school interactions. So that is what comes. So even if we are going in the buses, even if we are talking as a club master, as an activity in charge, or as any other, not as a subject teacher, but in any other form, the communication has to be in English. Sometimes children say that, ma'am, can I speak in Hindi? So you will say, no, you try to speak, I will help you in communicating. So maybe the entire conversation may not happen in English, but at least you will give them the sentences what can be replaced. So next time we will not have to use this. Then posters and slogans to be displayed in class and activity area. ये बहुत important है. Activity area means dance room, music room, art room, corridors when they are going for the games, or and even in the courts also, it can be there. Even in the auditorium, it has to be there. So that whenever they are going unmonitored in any place, they should have there is some kind of instruction given. The instruction is that we let's speak English with pride, and we can have many more. We can even have a slogan competition about talking about English. We can have a poster making talk competition for the benefits of English. All this can be a part of the launch of the English communication drive, whichever way we want to do it. So then comes the teacher orientation. The next point is the teacher orientation and capacity building. We have to conduct professional development workshop, which we have already done. English workshop, phonics की हो चुकी है. How we have to speak, if you remember. And we have been having lots and lots of workshops through XE for the primary, pre-primary, and for the senior teachers also. And senior teachers also can speak and should speak in English because it is part of the aptitude test which you crack when you qualify for the subject which you are teaching. So, and we will also have, I'll say, professional development, not only whatever we have done as a large group, we can have a small group also. So in that group also we can have those learning. So improve classroom English usage. So when we talk about improved classroom, so we can have some phrases. Simple. बच्चे बोलते water, washroom. It has to be a proper phrase. So these are just examples from the net. We can make even better. I did not get much time to make it, but then what I am saying, सब कुछ nets में है. आप मांगोगे सब मिलेगा. So the phrases are: Can you help me, please? May I go to the washroom, please? Can I work with Gunita ma'am, please? Can I have the pencil, please? May I have a book, please? May I borrow the book, please? What does that mean? What does that mean? And what you have said, what does that mean? Can you say that again, please? If the child wants to repeat, I have got a question. I have got a question. So this can also be a part of the classroom poster, so that we are giving them words, how to use it, when to use it. Then comes the classroom language. Classroom language, again some phrases. Can I go to the board? Can I switch on the lights? If there are a lot of cans, it can be may also. May I open the window? May I come in? May I pull the blinds? Uh, may I pull down the blinds? Pull up the blinds, pull down the blinds. अब बच्चे बोलते हैं ऊपर कर दे, नीचे कर दे. Though it is not such a difficult statement, it is just that we have not made it a habit. Can we pack our things now? Can we pack our bags now? I can't see the board. Can you please step aside? They will say, "Ma'am, उधर जाइए."
Kindly get aside.
Yes, kindly get aside. So what are we doing? एक तो please कहना सिखा रहे हैं. Soft culture बन रहा है. You cannot demand everything. Thinking कि ये मेरे village का या मेरे state का culture है. No. In school, it will be scholars culture, which is a soft culture. Can you play the CD again or can you play the video again? May I go to the washroom, please? May I switch off the lights? May I close the window? May I answer the question? Can I go out? May I sharpen my pencil? Can I do that exercise on the board? But I. This happens, we all know. So when you say no, you have to just raise your hand. That's fine. So if the children are raising their hands, then you will say, what will you say? So then the child will say, can I do that exercise or do that sum on the board? So allow that child to speak these, because these small words, sentences will make it their habit. And once that habit is formed, they will go to try with more thoughts into English words. Then again there is a picture for that classroom language, again from the net. Then correcting students' errors positively. So whenever any child makes a mistake, we will say, ये तो तुमने क्या बोला? इसका तो ये. We will never say this. We will say, very good. You have tried to make an attempt, but if you will say this way, the meaning is more clear. Then provide toolkit to teachers for academic and classroom experience. So ये toolkit में क्या हो सकता है? Yes, ma'am. Toolkit में क्या हो सकता है? Yes, toolkit में there will be all these things. Toolkit will have a banner. Toolkit will have all these suggestions. Toolkit will have a vocabulary. Toolkit will have a science teacher's vocabulary, maths teacher's vocabulary, social science teacher's vocabulary. Yes, toolkit will also have certain sentences framing, websites, addresses where they can go and improve them. Toolkit will also have meeting times with the groups where they can practice and communicate to each other in English and improve their English. And toolkit will also have that time in the school hours so that this is possible. This happens on the birthday. Okay, then the third thing is setting school-wide expectation. The third thing. The first thing was the what? Culture building. Second was capacity building and orientation. And the third thing is setting school-wide expectations. ये अभी पहला ही phase चल रहा है. What is the first phase? Culture building. So setting English should be communication medium in assemblies, in classrooms. Assemblies में it is there, but sometimes we are giving instructions. आगे हटो, पीछे हटो, सीधे हटो, झुको, के वो. It should also be in English. Then in the classrooms, many a times I have heard, sometimes I go only to hear what language teachers are communicating in classes. In many classes they are doing, in some classes they are not doing. In some classes, the moment they see me coming, they start. They were in Hindi, they communicate in English. So all that is noticed. The the thing is, culture will only come when we start thinking from inside. No matter. In Hindi is our mother tongue. There will definitely be temptation. But then when we have decided that we are going to make this program successful, we are going to make an extra effort. So extra effort classroom से नहीं शुरू होगी, वो टूल किट में शुरू होगी, सब्जेक्ट मीटिंग में शुरू होगी, लेसन प्लान में शुरू होगी. So when we are starting the lesson plan, what all instructions I will be giving. So what all words are there will be, which meanings I do not know. What one new sentence I will use to grab the attention of the children. And if I have to describe the work of a child, I will use these sentences. All this can be pre-planned. When we are pre-planned and when we go in the classroom, this thing comes naturally. As I shared with you earlier, Navjot Singh Sidhu never thought, there was a time, low time in his life where he read so many quotes and motivational books, and then now when he speaks, it comes naturally. The same way with Shashi Tharoor also, he went to a school in Calcutta and he did a lot of reading of books, and now the things we know the language what he speaks. Everybody has to look at the dictionary and how beautifully he expresses if we understand what he expresses. Then staff meetings and interactions. So many a time we have meetings in my office also. So we start always in English, then it switches to Hindi when we start describing a child, the parent, then it goes on reading in Hindi. So even if we have to speak less, we will speak in English. In the meetings and in any social interactions. Sometimes we keep on calling on the corridors, दीदी को भी चिल्ला रहे थे, बच्चों को लेके अंदर जाना. And then sometimes we say, अरे इधर आना, वो बुक्स रह गई हैं, पेपर नहीं है, 7th A में वो नहीं है, 9th C में question paper नहीं पहुंचा. So these things happen, but then this has to be in English. Emergency होती है, I'm not saying that. But then if we put this practice, it will come in English. Then the announcements in corridors, during break, during duties. So initially children will always resist. They will always say कि हमें अपना school नहीं है. They will say. What will your answer be? Whenever we are walking or doing mountaineering, the base camp is always very nice, pleasant, but then it acclimatizes us, prepares us, and when we are climbing on the top, it is always difficult. But when we reach the top, the view is worth the effort. This is my point of view. There can be yours also. You can use your own story. But at the same time, again, when you think everybody is talking Scholars Global School as the 100% English communication school. So when we started the school, parents used to come and they used to take the name of some schools. Children speak in English. Children speak in English. Teachers speak in English. And when I noticed some children were coming, and I have this always a habit of, because I do not stay here, so I have no interaction with the people here. My only interaction is the parent or the children or the teachers from the country. So when I talk to those children, I understand that there are 50 maximum sentences which they can speak. But to the whole city, the impression is that school children speak in English. But we want go 50, but then at the same time, the way we have groomed them for creatively thinking, innovatively thinking, original thinking, imagine when they start expressing all those thoughts in English. It is going to be a remarkable achievement with little efforts from each one of us. It's like a pyramid जो आप कार्ड का बनाते हो, मैं तो कभी बना नहीं पाया, I've seen people doing it. एक भी कार्ड हटता है पूरा pyramid बन जाता है. लेकिन अगर if all the cards are balancing, supporting each other, they reach the वही जो उसमें दही हांडी वाले में भी होता है, they make that pyramid, and the one, if they are able to balance, support each other, they are able to hit the target. Otherwise, they all fall down. The same way it is going to be for the English communication drive in our school. So I hope this is important that we have to say. Children will say, "Oh, ma'am, it was not my English class. So it was my Hindi class." That's okay. When the teacher is teaching Hindi, they will speak in Hindi. But then, apart from the subject, they will speak in English. So the second part, second phase is the implementation. So the first is the teacher communication circles. So teacher, this will be with which month? December and January. So we will have a weekly 15-minute sessions for teachers to discuss topics, share classroom experiences, and practice spoken English in an informal, non-judgmental setting. जैसे बच्चों को करते हैं टॉपिक दे दिया, शो एंड टेल छोटी क्लास में, बड़ी क्लास में डिबेट का. We do that or not? The same way we can do this during the stay backs. We have subject stay backs. So the teachers can sit together and we can have a chit and we'll say, maybe whatever we are talking, we can talk about that. Whatever our experience was of the week, the only thing is to practice for 15 minutes, not more than that. That is enough. It is to give you ease of talking in English. Then share classes I wanted. Then the student communication class. So these are also very important. We can have for primary little speakers club. We have it in second and third grade show and tell activity going on, and that has played a remarkable role in the way they are able to improve their communication. Then for the middle, we can have confident communicators club, and for seniors, orators league. So that we have to decide when this program will be, or during what time in the timetable these things will happen. I was several times I'm turning the pages. I think I've noted down everything, but it's maybe in my office. But anyway, for today, because this is an orientation session, I'm just giving you a gist of what is going to happen. So now comes the weekly activities can also be there, role plays, debates, storytelling, news reading, word of the week sessions, and observation of English week with competitions and cultural performances. English week we have already done in our school. I think we have done it in August or before that. In April, I remember we have done that. Shalini ma'am had planned. Yeah. Which month we did that? April month. Okay. Okay. So, but then we can have our own English week. Let's say for 6th canaries, 5th doves, they can have their own English week. You can have whatever you think. So it's nothing. The only thing is whatever we have done, we will do this only in that English week, just to make English come naturally to the children. That is it. Then the third point is the classroom practices. So teachers to conduct lessons primarily in English, primarily only in English. What on what may, whether you are able to complete whatever you have planned or not, you have to speak in English. Then pair students as English partners for mutual corrections. So the one who speaks well, the other one who is not so good. So they can always correct, or sometimes by listening also. By listening also. That's what I always say in the summer vacation to the parents who come and meet me during the PTS. I always tell them that please, cartoons, if the children are watching, show them in English. If they are listening to news, elder children, English. And that's why sometimes Netflix or these dramas are good because it is in English. It improves their English movies. Forget about the content, but the language it enhances. And in our times, for reading these Mills and Boon, we used to tell our parents, English अच्छी होती है इसलिए पढ़नी पड़ती है. When our parents used to object by reading all these love stories and all that. So we used to have this. And I will say it has added to that. I'm not saying about the content, but then definitely it adds to the English. So even the novels, whatever they are reading, should be in English. English newspaper should be there, and English newspaper used to play a very important role in enhancing the English in the remotest part of our country. That's there. Then use classroom chartways to ask questions or useful connectors in English. The one which I spoke to you. We can have these charts there. In case you want to say this, you can use this. If you want to say this, there will be suggestions to that. So those charts can be displayed. Then we have to develop a language-rich environment, English notice boards, daily thoughts, vocabulary corners to be maintained in all the ways. What we are seeing, vocabulary के words लिखे तो होते हैं. We have that 3-word journey program, but then sometimes the class teachers do not bother. The one who is in charge of the word journey, she only does it, gets a printout, and many a times when I ask them, "वो लगा क्यों नहीं?" They say, "I gave it to the teacher has not done." So, in case if we are not willing from our heart to change, it will never happen that way. So, it is important that we need to have these vocabulary corners in the classes, and we need to maintain them. Then peer monitoring, we should have language ambassadors. The ones we already have some badges I've seen children wearing in the senior wing and in the middle wing. So they will be our language ambassadors who will be talking about who is talking in English, who is not talking in English, what should be done, what new sentence to be added. So meetings should be held for the feedback from them, because that is feedback is going to help us decide what to do in the next week. So weekly meetings should be there. Then point system for rewards for English usage should be there. Then tallies displayed on the language progress board. Tallies bhi hai, plus black stars and all that. Earlier we used to have a monthly wrap up and we used to share it in the assembly, but now it is not done. I've seen the tallies being there, but then the whoever is in charge, they should compile it, and then we should have the class which gets the best English communication, at least we need to tell them. So then there will be a special board. There will be a special board which will be talking about which wing is doing better, which class is doing better, which section is doing better. With the AI, this is very easily possible. So when it is all the efforts are seen visually, it definitely makes an impact and motivation. Oh, today it is done. Tomorrow it is going to be academics. And today it is the primary wing, it is going to be the middle wing. Or if it's the middle wing, it's going to be the pre-primary wing. So that things should happen every month. Then only we can have the scope of improvement. Agar once in a year kiya, then there is no scope. So then the fight is lost. Then self-reflection and feedback. So there will be community reflection cards for teachers and students. In this card, this month I used English. Why? So this month I used English while teaching 10 lessons out of 15. I was purely teaching in English 10 lessons out of 15 lessons. Or this month I used English with different vocabulary words to describe my student work. I used English in my communication in the subject meetings. I used English in the buses, in the corridor, or I used English to enhance the students who are under my care by providing them with the alternate sentences to speak in English. And a new phrase I learned was, in this school we speak only English. This will be one of the phrases which you learn. It can be any other. I'll just give you an example. So again, for recognition and motivation, there will be certificates and awards. English Star of the Week, Most Improved Communicator, Fluent Faculty Award, Best Performing Class in English Communication. So this is recognition and motivation is definitely a factor for enhancing and improving. But then, what I feel this is mainly for the young learners. Young learners means the new learners. But for as teachers, as elders, what is the most important thing? The most important is intrinsic motivation. And intrinsic motivation lasts the longest. Otherwise, these awards, these appreciations, these certificates, they give momentarily happiness. But then again, I'll come back to the joy of giving formula. मिलने से ज़्यादा देने में खुशी है. So that is what is there. So what we are giving a culture to our school, we are giving English language to our children, and what we are giving to ourselves, a self of a way of satisfaction that yes, we can improve a system by our 100% efforts. Then what will be the support mechanisms? There will be language help desk. Language help desk means if I want some words, some video, something, so there will be people, English department primarily or HMM for their wing to help. Maybe I want this statement or this kind of thing in English, how to do it. I want to start this class with an English song or an English poem. It can be. I want to summarize this. आपके पास ChatGPT है. That is one of the biggest help desk. But then that is all theoretical. Practical we will get from each other. So language help desk will be made. Then audio visual corners will be there in the library, and resource repository will also be in the library. And librarians have to take care of that for teachers. And during the staybacks, once in a month, we can go in the library and do try to acquire whatever is there. I'll have a separate meeting with the librarians regarding this. But whatever you require, you can give it to them. They will arrange it, whether it is a book, whether it is a audio video, whether it is a any kind of say any other tool which you need, they will be providing with, along with my approval. Then comes the review and sustainability. Now the thing is, it is very important for any culture that it should remain. So sustainability is that. So we should not set the target so high that it is impossible to achieve. So if first thing is the children are only speaking in English in the class. Second step is they are speaking English in the activities. Third thing is they are speaking in English in the corridors or in the sports. The last will be they are speaking English in the buses. You got my point? So if I said कि सब buses में भी करेंगे, सब जगह करेंगे, it is a something which is unachievable. So we have to go gradually, and sustainability should be in our mind, and we should be open for suggestions and implementations. Yes, एक हमारे देश में एक कास्ट है राय साहब, उनको हर चीज की राय देनी होती है. So I will say that if you tell them do this, they have a right for that. If you say ये नहीं हो सकता, they have a right for that. So first listen and try to do, and then give suggestions when somebody asks you. So the moment anything is told, given to you as instructions by anybody, I have seen this personally, not only with me but everybody in that. Immediately you will come to हम ऐसे सोच रहे हैं, हम ऐसे सोच रहे हैं. आप सोच रहे हो, very good. It's very good that you are thinking. But what is important? What is important? That the task should be done. So if somebody has planned it, they must have thought about it. So let them go in that way, so that at least something happens. कुछ गलत भी, but at least you will know after doing that. So this is something which we need to, which is very important to suggest. But then once the policy is framed, let us follow that first, and then we. If it's an emergency, that's okay. Emergency, we all know, or there are no rules for emergency or disaster management. We have to only look at the safety and security. That's it. Then comes the long-term goal set. So, after reviewing in the March, suggestions, whatever will come in these 3 months, we will all gather that, and then we will make a long-term goal for the next session. So, in that, again, monitoring and assessment, rating, parameter rating will be from 1 to 4. 1 will be the least, 4 will be the best. Consistent usage in class encourages English response. Yes. In the class, many a times children answer in Hindi. So we will say, no, 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 I'll take English. The child will, if that child talks in English, we'll take that. Otherwise, we will take it from then the child, any other child speaks in English, we will keep on following passing on the question unless we get the answer in Hindi or in English, sorry. So then we have to correct gently and positively. We will never laugh at them. If anybody is laughing, any child, we will stop it. Then models fluent communication, participates in communication activities. So in our school, we have so many communication activities. We talk about in the classroom teaching, subject enrichment, private activities, assembly. So many we have, even in the zero period also we have communication activities. So we have to see that each child participates in that. So normally there are 4, 5, 10 children who are participating everywhere, but in our school we encourage everyone. So there will be certificates and awards for English Star of the Week. This we can give for our classroom. Every teacher can give English Star of the Week. Then most improved communicator. And then we can have a fluent faculty award. The teacher who is always found teaching in English, who is also found giving instructions to children in English during activities, during discussions, during meetings, during personal interactions. So that is going to be a fluent faculty award. And then I think that we will be able to transform our school together. The science teachers will explain why this has been shown. Life cycle of a butterfly. So without the eggs, caterpillar would not be what an English. So without the caterpillar, there would be no pupa. And you see that this pupa looks so different than this pupa. And this pupa turns into a butterfly. And there is a beautiful story about how a butterfly, imago होते हैं, ये butterfly changes into a full-fledged butterfly. So in a jar, a child had kept the egg when the same stages were seen, and the father, like the child used to wait when the butterfly will be formed. So the father was also observing the child doing that, and the child was seeing that when the pupa is cracking, the butterfly is not able to come out from that cocoon. So he takes the scissors and cut it, and the butterfly comes out, but it is not able to fly. So the struggle is so important. So what happens during that struggle? What happens? The arteries and whatever are there. So the blood supply goes into that. That makes the wing flat and straight, and that is how a butterfly. So when you avoid that struggle, the arteries are not open, the blood flow doesn't happen, and we are, I say, incapacitating the butterfly from flying. So the struggle will be there. There will be stages, but then going through the life cycle is important. So the first stage we talked about in this cycle was the culture building. So without the culture building, there will be no implementation. Without implementation, there will be no awards and recognition. So many a times we keep on dreaming the award मेरे को ही मिलेगा, but then we are not doing the things. Or the one who will become a butterfly will have to go through lot of personal battle. Battle will not be with you. Battle will be with your colleagues who will joke about you. इस बार तो award यही लेगी. She will only for the award. हमें तो चाहिए ही नहीं. हम तो हिंदुस्तानी हैं. हम तो 100 साल 300 साल की आजादी अंग्रेजों से निकले, आजादी से निकले, 75 साल हो गए. Some of people hear all this thing. This is very human medium. But the thing is another story. So there was a race where all the frogs were asked to climb up a tree, and so they were allowed. And then the moment the one frog started climbing, the other people said, "Oh, जाके क्या मिलेगा तेरे को ऊपर? Come back. Then others were trying, there were a lot of noises, voices. There is no point, they're only making you fools out of yourself. You're only wasting your time, you could go and spend it. Kushi Dena award, they're only announcing they will never give. But then there was a frog who kept on moving until he reached the top. And when he reached the top, he was asked, what made you win this award? There were so many people who were trying to put you down. So the frog said, by sign language, I can't hear. So the frog was deaf. So we have to become deaf to achieve something. So it is very important for each one of us to first make a goal for ourselves and then align our goal with the school. And unless we align our success with the school success, both of us will not grow. If you grow alone, the school doesn't grow, no growth. And if only the school grows, you don't grow, no possibility. Without teacher upliftment, student upliftment will not happen. Without student and teacher upliftment, school upliftment will not happen. So there are so many things. Many of you come and say कि कोई भी school ये नहीं कर रहा. So I say we are not concerned about what they are doing or what they are not doing. We are concerned that we are doing it and we have seen the effect on the children, the students' success. And it is brought because I have trust that you can do it. So why I am setting a target? Because I know you can do it. But only if you align your goal with the school goal. So let's transform our school together and we will go for a new beginning. The frog is there again with the suitcase. So the new beginning is going to be what we started in the beginning. Let's make this school a English speaking school. So I hope you will agree with me with whatever I have understood. Whatever we have discussed, it is achievable. You have understood all the smaller points of whatever we discussed. So do you think we will be successful?
Yes.
So one of the, I think there are a lot of people which are. So I think thank you everyone for being a part of this, and what a good way this was my first live session to be with you all, because again I have made this a teacher's mission, like any of you, transforming education and helping the people the way they look forward. I am not an English person, but yes, I went to a school where English was the not only medium, ma'am, it was an English school. I was lucky to be taught by nuns from British places. So that's what I've seen, and I've seen that happening and coming in a small city where the parents were not talking in English at all. Everybody, all the school children were talking because they believed. They would have said it, and those times it used to be. I don't remember before now, but sisters used to say a very difficult dialogue for that. English, Hindi, bolinga, they used to make a fun of that. So I don't want anybody to make fun because we are very proud to be Indians. But then at the same time, we have to encourage. And if it is possible, I have seen that possible in my school time where the resources were very limited. But now we are full of resources, full of talent. So even teachers who were Hindi medium in their education, they also transform into English medium teaching. So it all depends on the culture and the value system which we do. So thank you once again. And, I think we can go offline. You can do that? Yes, Didi. I think the tea was planned at 10:30. It's 10:30? It's 11. Okay, so chai, please chai. Please give. So thank you once again, and I'm feeling very bad because